Today we will be telling you the story of Robert Andrews Millikan, one of the fathers of the field of chemistry. Born on March 22, 1868, the American scientist had a fascination for physics that drove his contributions to the field of chemistry, particularly his discovery of the charge of the electron. Fletcher and Millikan set about creating their experiment, which seeks to find the charge of an electron.
An oil drop experiment for one Mr. Millikan?
Yeah.
Have a nice day, sir.
Millikan devised the oil drop experiment to measure the charge of an electron. Here we have made a replica of the experiment with a cross-section cutaway of the tube to demonstrate its inner workings. This is a sealed chamber comprised of two separate rooms. These represent metal plates that are charged positively and negatively, with a certain amount of voltage running through them that can be controlled by the experimenter. A fine spray of oil mist is inserted into the top chamber through this tube. The oil will funnel, drop by drop, through a small hole located in the bottom of this chamber and drip into the bottom chamber. Through these ports, X-rays would be inserted into the room, and these X-rays would incite a charge when in contact with matter. As the voltage of the plates was adjusted, it would produce different effects with the drops. When there was no voltage, the drops would simply fall to the bottom of chamber and nothing would occur. But once a voltage started to be put into the plates, positive and negative, the oil drops would fall slower and slower and slower and slower until they reached a point where they would hover, suspended between the positively and negatively charged plates. When more voltage was added, the drops would even counteract gravity and begin to rise. Millikan toyed with the different voltages, and he discovered that they were all that the different voltages were all based upon a similar unit, which was found throughout the entire experiment. A small base unit that is measured as 1.6 times 10 to the negative 19th coulombs. He labeled that as the charge of an electron. How goes the experiment?
Well, sir, all of the charges that are recorded seem to be a multiple of the number 1.6 times 10 to the negative 19th.
Let me see. What do you think this is?
Well, sir, based on my speculations, I think it's the charge of an electron.
You just got your PhD.
Millikan was a professor at the University of Chicago. It was there that he conducted his famous oil drop experiment with his partner Harvey Fletcher. Millikan took full credit for the experiment, but Harvey Fletcher took full credit for the dissertation because it was necessary for his PhD.
Much of what influenced Millikan's experiment was the work of J.J. Thomson, particularly the discovery of the electron and the ratio between the mass and charge of an electron. Because Millikan could find the charge of the electron, he also found the mass, and that is thanks to J.J.
PhD?
PhD.
PhD!
All right.